Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, so we're gonna hop right into the video. I left off on part 2 where I had a conversation like through text messages with Jay, and this was the day before 4th of July, so like July 3rd. And we were pretty much, well, I was pretty much asking if we were still going to the beach together for 4th of July. And like I stated, at the end of part 2, he was like acting weird. Like it was pretty obvious that he no longer wanted me to go, but he didn't want to come out and say that he didn't want me to go. So he was given every excuse in the book. For example, let's say that he said something like, I don't know, there's going to be sharks everywhere. And I'm like, "Oh, that's cool. I like sharks." Like, stuff like that. But towards the end of the conversation, it was very much clear that we were still going to go to the beach for 4th of July and see the fireworks and all of that. So, prior to that conversation, like around the time we had made plans, I had already decided that I was going to buy a new swimsuit. So, around this time, I had lost, I don't want to say a lot of weight, but I had definitely lost weight. And the previous swimsuit that I had was a one piece. And now that my stomach is flat, I want to wear a two-piece bikini, right? Of course, who doesn't? So, at the job where we worked at, they sold clothes, and of course they sold swimsuits. So I decided to get a 4th of July swimsuit that was like the American flag pattern, but it was like a two-piece bikini. And with that, I decided to wear a black crop top, and then I wore some red high-waisted shorts, but they were like really short shorts. And then I don't remember what kind of shoes that I wore, but because we were going to the beach, I'm pretty sure that it was probably like some sandals or something like that. And then I've never been a flip-flop type of girly. So, the day of 4th of July, Jay comes to my mom's house and he picks me up. And now we're heading to Thing One's dorm to pick her up. So when we get to Thing One's dorm, she comes outside and Jay rolls down the window and he tells her to get in the back seat because I was sitting in the passenger seat. So she gets in, she shuts the door, and and I turn around and I'm like, "Oh, hey girl," I'm all excited. And she's like, "Hey." And right then and there, I knew. I was like, "Oh yeah, the vibe is off." Because why are you not excited to see me? Last time I saw you, I was saving your ass. It's like, no, for real. Nah, for real. But it's like, why are you not excited to see me? Okay. But whatever. I decided to let it go. I also forgot to say that it was pretty much understood between me and Jay that we were gonna roll up on the way there, right? So I had the tree and that we just needed to go to the store to like get some backwoods. So once Thing One gets into the car and like Jay pulls off, she mentions wanting to go to a liquor store or something like that because she wanted to get a bottle, right? And around that time, I wasn't really a drinker. I was more so a smoker, but I was not turning down any type of drinks, obviously. So the place that we go to, it wasn't like an actual liquor store. It was like a gas station that sold alcoholic beverages, basically. So when we get there, Jay is asking Thing One what kind of bottle she wants. And she said something about how she was just like that she wanted wine, that she didn't want any type of like hard liquor or nothing like that. Then he asked me what I wanted, and I don't remember what I said, but for the sake of this, let's say I said that I wanted tequila or something like that, right? And then after I said that, like, Thing One, she was like, "Oh, well, I don't want to drink tequila. Like, I think I want wine." And then Jay was like, "Yeah, I think I want wine too." And I'm like, okay. I mean, to be honest with you, I like it didn't really matter to me. Like, as long as I get my backwoods to roll up my shit, I really don't care what we get. So that wasn't really a big deal to me. So it's pretty much at this point, it's pretty much understood that we're gonna get a bottle of wine and then I'm finna get some backwoods. So Thing One was not old enough to buy alcohol, right? Me and Jay, obviously, we both were. So once we get to the place and Jay pulls into the parking spot, thing one, she hands Jay her card. And she's like, here, use this to get the bottle of wine that I want. So he was like, all right, bet. So me and Jay, we get out the car and we go into the store. So when we walk over to like the refrigerators, the coolers, whatever they're called, we get over there and Jay is looking at the wine. He was like, "Oh, she didn't say what kind she wanted, but she always drinks this, so I'm just gonna get this. And then if she doesn't want it, then I'll just come back in and get her something else." And I was just like, "Oh, okay." It wasn't like a full bottle, if that made sense. Like, you know how those wine coolers are like very small. He asked me if I wanted anything, like anything to drink, and I was like, "Nah, I'm just gonna get some backwoods when we go to the register." So he was like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm not really a drinker. I like as long as I got my backwoods, like I'm straight." You feel me? So we get up to the counter. I get my backwoods. He pays for her wine. Boom. So then we get back in the car. So when we get in the car, he hands her the bottle of wine and he hands her her card back, right? So after that, we just get straight on to like the highway. Now, from where we were, the beach was probably like maybe 45 minutes to an hour away. So get on the highway, we're going towards the beach. And as soon as we get on the highway, oh, I start rolling up. Like, so I'm rolling up. Um, then one, she's in the back, like sipping her wine. There's like music playing via aux cord. And of course, Jay, like she was drinking her wine by herself because I had already said that I didn't want wine, so I wasn't gonna drink it. And then Jay, he obviously wasn't drinking anyway because he was driving. So as we're on the highway, I finish rolling up and I go to spark it. So after I spark it, I pass it to Jay, right? So Jay, he takes a pull. He takes a couple pulls actually, and then he like hands it on. And he was like, "Here, you want to hit this?" And she was like, "No, I'm good." So he was like, "All right," and then handed it back to me and was like, "Here, she don't want to hit it." So I'm like, "All right, like it's just gonna be me and you then." So I took it back and then I start hitting it. And that was kind of weird to me. Like at first I didn't think too much of it, but like as the day goes on, like you guys are going to understand why I say that that was weird. Because me, Jay, and Thing One, we like up until this point, all three of us, we had smoked together multiple times, like plenty of times, with just the three of us. So the fact that she didn't want to hit the blunt, like, and just wanted to drink her wine, whatever, cool, do you, right? So at this point, Thing One and Jay, like they're playing music on the aux cord, they're rapping to it, like that type of thing, right? And I'm just scrolling through my phone, hitting my blunt, minding my business, like not really paying them no mind for real. So then I don't know why, but I guess Jay felt like I was being like standoffish or that I was just being too quiet. I mean, maybe I was. Maybe I was because I had already peeped that the vibe was weird. Like from the moment the thing one got into the car, I had already peeped like, all right, like this is some weird energy going on. So maybe because of that, maybe I decided that I was gonna isolate myself or like be quiet or I don't know. But obviously the vibe was there and I felt it. So because of this, Jay hands me his phone. He was like, "Oh, you don't want to play any music?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm cool. Like, we don't have to play no music." They were going back and forth. Like, Jay would pick a couple songs, then Thing One would pick a couple songs. You feel me? And yeah. So then Jay takes his phone, and anybody that knows me knows that I am a barb. Like, I'm a barb, 10 toes down, right? And of course, Jay knew this as well. So this is when Rich Sex had came out. So, but I had not heard it yet. So Jay plays Rich Sex, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm surprised you haven't heard this song. Like, yeah, knowing you, you know every song that Nicki ever wrote. You know, and I, of course, I'm laughing and stuff like that. So he plays the song, and I'm like, I'm feeling it at this point. I'm like, oh yeah, because obviously I'm a bar. I'm finna turn up every time Nicki comes on, whenever she comes on. So now, I guess you can say I'm involved, I'm having a good time, whatever. But I want to make it perfectly clear that while this is going on and I'm turning up to Nikki, thing one is in the back, quiet, not saying nothing, right? And then he plays that song, he plays Chun Li by Nicki, of course, and that song I know. So of course I'm like rapping the like every single verse of that song because I know that song by heart. You feel me? And he knew that, right? So as the music is playing, I guess you know what? I'm just gonna tell it how it happened, and then it like everything will make sense. I promise everything will make sense. So he's playing the song, I'm rapping to the song, but I guess thing one felt like I was throwing shots at her with the music choices, which didn't really make sense to me. And the reason why I say that she felt like I was throwing shots at her because right after that song, she asked to play a song. So then of course Jay passes her, you know, his phone and she plays Nice for What by Drake, right? And then she kept rapping with like her whole heart and soul, how you gotta be nice to these niggas for what? Or some shit like that, she said, right? And clearly she was directing that towards me, right? Like clearly now she's the one throwing shots at me. I don't know if this is what really happened, but this is what I got. And from that, and I know this is all over the place, but please, like, just listen. So, I guess she was trying to say that the reason why Jay still allowed for me to come onto this trip is because like he was being nice, because remember how I said that he was acting as if he didn't really want me to come, right? So I guess she was trying to make it seem like, oh, you're only here because he was being nice for you, like all this shit like that, right? And I'm just like, this girl is weird. Like she's weird because she had never acted like this around me ever. And I don't know why she's acting like this around me now. You know, like the only thing at that point, the only thing that I could think of is that obviously she's friends with Jay, so maybe Jay had told her about our breakup, but it wasn't a bad breakup. Like me and Jay were still friends. Like we were still cool. Obviously, if we're still, you know, hanging out with each other. I don't know. It was just weird to me. So anyway, even though I'm a Barb, Jay is Barty Gang, obviously. So he starts playing a song, and it was a very popular song that had just came out. So he's rapping the verses to the song. Um, he's doing the ad libs and everything. Like this was literally his favorite song. Like, he would play this song like at least twice a day. So, so of course, you know, I'm like, you know, clowning him, like, oh, you know all the ad libs to this song, don't you? Like, you know, and we just laughing and joking. Thing went in the back, not laughing, not joking, salty. Yeah, salty, get it the pepper. No, for real. No, for real. Like, she was mad in the back. So we get to the beach and we decided that we're going to walk the boardwalk. So I mentioned before in the last video that me and Jay, we would go on a lot of like out of town dates and stuff like that, like little weekend getaways and stuff. Well, we would also frequent to this beach a lot. Like we had a lot of dates at this beach. We went to a lot of like restaurants that are on the boardwalk. We would get ice cream, walk the boardwalk. So me and Jay have been to this beach like thousands of times, right? Keep that in mind. We're walking like in the sand and we decide that we're going to like obviously get in the water, right? So now so now everyone's taking off their clothes, revealing their swimsuits. And should I say this? I'm just gonna say it, whatever. So I take off my crop top and my shorts because obviously I had my swimsuit underneath my clothes, right? And so did Jay. Like he had his swimsuit under his clothes as well. And I guess, you know, thing one did too. So as we're taking our clothes off to reveal our swimsuits, me and Jay noticed that our swimsuit, that we have matching swimsuits. Cause like I said, mine was the American flag print and I had a two-piece, and then he had on some swim trunks that were also American flag print, right? So I'm like laughing. I'm like, oh my God, like not you trying to copy me, like not you trying to copy my swag. And then he looked at what I had on and he was like, oh shit, like you got this from work too? And I started laughing. I was like, yeah. And thing one, she's wearing like an all black one piece, but it was like a I don't want to say it was off the shoulder. Like it had like one strap here. This side was like a spaghetti strap, and but a little bit thicker than a spaghetti strap. And then this side was like a long sleeve, and it was a black one piece. So that's what she had on. But obviously, once she's seen that me and Jay are now wearing matching swimsuits, clearly she feels some type of way. Like it's all over her face. Something else that's weird because why do you feel some type of way that me and Jay are wearing matching swimsuits unintentionally, by the way, because it's not like we planned that. But whatever, moving on, right? The part where the water meets the sand, we walk to that part, and like the water is just getting on like our feet when like the tide comes in. So we're doing that, and then Jay, he was like that he kind of mentioned that he wanted to like swim, that he wanted to actually like swim in the water and not just stand there and get his feet wet. Well, thing one was like that she didn't want to get in the water because she had just got her hair done and she had just got her lace front installed. So of course she didn't want to get her hair wet. So I had just gotten a retwist a few days before this. So I mean, I was fine with getting in the water. So once I tell Jay like, oh, that's fine. Like I don't mind getting in the water. And then thing one was like that she didn't want to because she had just got her lace front done. She decided that she was gonna go sit on the beach. So while she's sitting in the beach, me and Jay were playing in the water. So Jay wanted to do this contest where like once the wave starts coming in, like he'll say one, two, three, go, and then we'll jump in the water and we'll see who can like swim out the farthest. But obviously we weren't gonna swim like too far or nothing like that, right? So we're doing that and we're playing like a couple of rounds of that. Like we did that a couple of times. So many times that I had lost count. So as we're doing that, he ends up stopping and he was like, hold on, like where's thing one? So he's like, where's thing one? And I'm like, I don't know, I think she's on the beach somewhere. So then Jay turns around and he starts like looking around to see if he can see her. So I guess he sees her because then he says, hold on, I'll be right back, I'm gonna go check with her and see if she wants to come in the water with us. So I'm like, okay. He resolved the thing one, and I turn around because it's taken a long time. So I turn around and I see that she's sitting on the sand. So I go and like I turn around to look because it's taking him a long time to come back. And I see that thing one, like she's sitting down on the beach. She's sitting down on like the beach, and then Jay is like he's bent down talking to her. Obviously, I can't hear what's being said. But it's pretty obvious that they're like talking to each other. So some time goes by and then Jay comes back. He comes back and he was like, oh, well, she said that she just wants to sit on the beach and she doesn't want to get in the water with us because she doesn't want to mess up her hair. I'm like, okay, yeah, I figured that because that's what she said, like when we first got here. So me and Jay go back to swimming, and then about maybe because we continue to play that same game the entire time. So maybe about after 2 or 3 rounds of that, he was like, like, come on, do you want to walk on the boardwalk now? I'm like, yeah, that's fine, we can do that. So now we are walking the boardwalk. And because my swimsuit is wet, um, I decided to just put on my shorts, like my red high waisted shorts that I had, but like I didn't fasten them or nothing like that. And then I'm just walking around in like my bikini top. So my bikini top, shorts that aren't buttoned, and like some sandals. So so we're walking on the boardwalk. Um, just looking at, the stuff that's there, like the little stands that people had, um, stuff like that. Me and Jay have been to this beach for like multiple dates that we've had, and we're passing by one of the places that we went on a date at. And I forgot the name, obviously, now, but Jay points it out. He was like, "Oh, you remember we went out to eat at that place and you ordered a Krabby Patty burger?" And I laughed and I was like, "Yeah, and it was just a burger with some crab meat on it. Like, they should be ashamed of themselves for calling it a Krabby Patty." Like, so we were laughing and stuff like that. But, like, when we were on our date and I had ordered the Krabby Patty burger and I seen it was just a burger with crab meat, like, me and Jay were like talking shit about it and laughing. So I'm pretty sure that's probably why he brought it up then, because he remembered that, right? So then thing one, she kind of asked that. She's like, "Oh, y'all went out to eat here?" And then I was like, "Yeah, we've went on multiple dates to this beach. We've walked the boardwalk a couple of times, like went into some of these stores and like bought some stuff. Like, yeah, it was a frequent spot of ours." So after I said that, like, she didn't really say too much. So we're still walking, and on the boardwalk, there's one part where like everybody walks on, right? And you have bathrooms, you have like many different places, like restaurants to like eat and grab food. You got places where you can shop, take pictures and stuff like that, right? Oh, and there's also people off to the side, like selling their own stuff, right? Like vendors and stuff like that. So there's also another part, like if you go down farther enough, there's like a part that's off to the side where it's a separate boardwalk, but that boardwalk, like, that's only for people that are like fishing. And it's not as long as like the main boardwalk. Like, it's a boardwalk for sure, but it's like a very short boardwalk. So we started walking over there, and as we're walking over there, I was telling Jay, like, "Oh, I've never been on this part before. I just know people who fish come over here and I don't fish," so he was like, he had never been to that part of the boardwalk either. So we're looking at the people fishing, we're looking at the fish in the water and stuff like that. So we get to, we're looking at the fish in the water. So it's like I'm on one side, Jay is in the middle, and then thing one is on the other side. So then I start telling Jay about two of my friends, because like I also had said before, like when me and my friends would have like couples game night, I would like bring Jay with me. So he was very familiar with like my friends, and they were also very familiar with him. So I start telling Jay that two of my friends, that he had been very familiar with, they had actually broke up and that they were no longer together. When I told him that, Jay was like, "Dang, that's crazy. Like, the way that they were going, I thought they were going to be together, forever." So then I was like, "Well, yeah, I mean, they've been breaking up and getting back together for years. Like, they've been doing this ever since high school. Like, this is pretty much their thing. So, like, I believe they're going to be back together, like, sometime later." I didn't say sometime later, but I was like, I'm pretty sure they're going to be back together, like, eventually, soon enough. So after I say that, Jay looks at me, like, he turns around, he looks at me, he was like, "Well, I guess when two people keep breaking up and getting back together like that, like, I guess that means they're really meant to be." And then it's like he stares at me in my eyes and just smiles at me. And I smile back. And thing one felt some type of way, obviously, because as soon as that exchange happened, and now me and Jay are like looking at each other in the eyes and staring at each other, she rolls her eyes. I kid you not. She rolls her eyes, turns around, and walks off, right? So me and Jay, we continue our conversation. He didn't know that thing one had left. So we're having our conversation, and then eventually, like, some time goes by, like maybe like 5 minutes go by, and he turns around, he looks, and he says, "Where's thing one?" And I'm like, "I don't know. She walked off." Now, at this point in time, at this very moment, I'm thinking that she likes him, she has a crush on him. It's something because the way that she's acting is just too weird for you to be just feel some type of way that I broke up with him. Like that can't be it. That can't be it. It's got to be that she likes him, has a crush on him or something, right? So boom. So once I say this, Jay turns around to go after her. So now we're walking back down the not the main boardwalk, but the second boardwalk where people fish. We're walking back down there and we're going towards like the entrance. Like because that boardwalk was so small, it only had one entrance and one exit. So we're walking towards the entrance, right? And she's walking back in. But she's not alone. She has a couple with her. She has two people with her. And we're just going to call them couple. They don't really need a name because this is the only time that they come up. So I was very familiar with this couple because me and Jay had gone on a double date with this couple. And it was the first and last double date that we went on with that couple because it was pretty clear that they didn't like me and I didn't like them either. So I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure they told Jay, like, oh yeah, we don't want to hang around her. And to be honest, I don't really care, you know? And let me just give the gist of how this double date went, right? So a quick little side story. So it wasn't like a double date that was actually planned. While we're there, the couple, they also walk in. The couple and Jay, they know each other from school. They all go to the same university. So when Jay saw them, of course, him and the dude, they dap each other up. He introduces me to him and the girl, stuff like that, like the girlfriend. So, Jay was like, "Oh, did y'all just get here?" And then the dude was like, "Yeah, what are y'all waiting to be seated?" And then Jay was like, "Yeah, but why don't we all just sit together and make this, a double date?" And then the boyfriend looks at his girlfriend, she shrugs her shoulders. Jay looks at me and I'm like, that's fine, I don't care. So we all get a table and we sit down. We get a booth. So me and Jay are sitting next together and then the couple is sitting across from us. So everyone's talking about like what they're going to order and stuff like that. Now, the girlfriend was a vegetarian and she had been a vegetarian for majority of her life, I believe. And then her boyfriend had converted to being a vegetarian once he had got into a relationship with her, right? So she's pretty much explaining their vegetarianism to us, right? To me and Jay. And as she's doing this, she's explaining how eating meat makes her feel. Um how she can't even stand the smell of meat. And in my mind, I'm thinking that's crazy because I'm about to order meat. Like, you feel me? I want to put this out here. I want to like make a disclaimer. Like, I do not have any ill feelings towards anyone who is vegetarian or vegan. Like, if that's what you choose to do, that's your business. That doesn't have anything to do with me. Right? So, moving on. So, as we're all discussing what we're going to order, obviously, boyfriend and girlfriend, they're going to get something for vegetarians. They get to Jay, ask him what he's going to order. I don't know. Let's say Jay decided that he was going to order a short stack, some sausage, and some scrambled eggs or something, right? Why? Why? Why does girlfriend start talking about being vegetarian and what meat does to your body and what she starts talking about all of this vegetarian stuff, right? And inadvertently it changed Jay's mind. And now after she said what she said, he decided that now he's not finna get nothing with meat. He's just finna get a short stack and some eggs. And I'm not gonna lie, that made me look at him differently because why do you feel like you have to eat what they're eating just because, excuse me, just because they're vegetarians? What? Okay, so then they get to me. They get to me, and let's just say I get a short stack, egg, sausage, and bacon, right? Let's just say I get that. And now everybody's throwing me dirty looks. Oh my god. Do you know they had to kill a baby pig for that? Like, oh my god. Like, not to say that that's what she said, but it was the gist of it. You know? No, I don't know. But do I care? No. It's like, no, I didn't. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I didn't say that. But, yeah, so she starts saying the same thing she said before about how the smell of meat makes her sick and she can't be around meat. And well, maybe we should not have a double date. Maybe we should have our own date, and then you two have your own date. Because I'm not about, like, you're not going to dictate what I eat. That's what we're not finna do. Okay? Sorry, not sorry. So then Jay was like, "Oh, well, she said that she can't stand the smell of meat, and you're still gonna get meat." Yes, I am, because I'm hungry and that's what I want to eat. Like, I'm not gonna sit up here and eat rabbit food just because they eat rabbit food. I'm not doing that. What I put in my body, they don't got nothing to do with them. What they put in their body don't got nothing to do with me. You feel me? Boom. Anyway, long story short, I ended up getting the food that I wanted and I ate it right in front of their face and didn't give a fuck. Anyway, so after that, I'm pretty sure that they told Jay, like, yeah, no, we don't like her. And because I definitely told Jay, like, yeah, no, I don't like them. I don't think that we should go on any more double dates with them people. Like, we should not, we just should not do that. So anyway, back to the boardwalk. So thing one comes walking up with this couple, and of course she's all chummy with them, right? Of course they're like fucking besties, right? Thing one, Jay, yeah, and Jay, they start having their own like conversation, right? And I'm just standing there because I'm not speaking to them and I don't want them to speak to me, because pretty clear I don't like y'all and y'all don't like me, so there's no need to be fake and speak to each other. Like, no. So boom. So after the conversation, the couple, they walk off toward where we had just came from. So now me, Jane, thing one, we're continuing to walk the boardwalk. You know, it starts to get very, very awkward and weird. But it's like me and Jay are walking side by side, and then thing one is walking behind us. Like, as if we did not arrive together as a group. As if we are not a group. You feel me? Like, she's walking by herself. So Jay isn't really paying much attention to it. Like, he's not mentioning it, right? So now it starts to get dark, right? Now it's getting darker. It's getting darker. We've been walking around this whole time. And I'm like, now I'm thirsty, right? So Jay was like that he wanted something to drink too. So we're walking past this smoothie place, right? So I'm like, oh, I want to go in and I want to get a smoothie. And then Jay was like that he wanted a bottle of water. And I'm like, well, I think they do have bottled water in there. I mean, if they sell smoothies, I'm pretty sure they're gonna have bottled water in there too. So we walk inside the place, and sure enough, they have bottled water. So Jay got a bottled water, and I got a smoothie. I don't remember what flavor it was, but let's say it was like mango or something like that. I don't know. And when we first arrived to the counter, I didn't know what kind of smoothie I wanted, but Jay picked that smoothie, right? He picked that one. So as we're walking out, I'm drinking my smoothie. I'm like, this is good. Like, good choice. And he's like, oh yeah, can I try? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So I hand him my smoothie and he drinks it from the exact same straw. And then he gives it back to me. And now I'm like, oh, well, can I have a sip of your water? And he was like, yeah, sure. I take the water, take off the top, and I drink some of his water, put the top back on, hand it back to him, right? Now, thing one is walking next to us. So then Jay asked thing one, he was like, hey, you want some of this smoothie too? Like, you want to try it? And I don't know what it was, but let's just say it was mango. He was like, it's mango flavor. Like, do you want to try some? And she was like, no. And I'm looking like, the fuck? Granted, if she does not want to put her mouth on the same straw that me and Jay just put our mouths on, Cool beans. Cool beans do you, right? Ain't nothing wrong with that. So, so Jay was like, okay, well, do you want some of my water? Same thing. No. He was like, all right. He was like, all right then. And then he turned like, so now we're walking where I'm on one side, Jay's in the middle, thing one is on the other side. So Jay turns around and he's talking to thing one, but I can't hear what he's saying because it's so loud and he's talking to the point where only they can hear. So I can't hear what's said. But like, um, but once they get finished their conversation, she walks off and she goes to sit down at like a table, and me and him continue to walk. And I'm like, where is she going? He was like, oh, she said that she wanted to go sit down. So then we continue to walk. So we're walking, we're talking, but we don't go too far. Like we go like a couple feet away, but it's like we're still in the vicinity, basically. So at one point, Jay turns around and he was like, hold on, let me go talk to thing one real quick and like make sure she's good because she been acting weird all day. And I'm like, okay, yeah, so you peeped that too, like she been acting weird. And he was like, yeah, like let me go see what's up with her. So I'm like, all right. So he goes over to thing one and I see them talking, but like I said, I can't hear what's actually being said. So then Jay walks back over, but thing one is still sitting down. So I'm like, well, what did she say? He was like, nothing. Like, she said that she's good. So I'm like, okay. So we continue to walk the boardwalk. And now it's getting close to the fireworks show, right? So he goes to get thing one, and now we're all standing by the beach to watch the fireworks. And it's everyone. Like, it is a huge, huge crowd of people watching these fireworks, right? So the fireworks are going off, people's taking out their phone, recording it, things that people usually do, right? And once again, I'm on one side, thing one is on the other side. So then Jay takes out his phone because obviously he was recording it and like he was recording the fireworks and I was also recording the fireworks. So Jay takes out his phone and he was like, come on, let's get a picture with the fireworks behind us, right? Now, mind you, Jay is in the middle, so I'm thinking Jay is gonna like pull out his phone and like, cause okay, let's just say I'm right here. This is Jay, and the thing one is on this side. So I'm thinking Jay is gonna hold his phone like this. God, I can't talk. Then he's gonna hold his phone like this, and then we're all gonna move in closer, and he's gonna take a selfie. No, no, I kid you not. Jay turns around, right? So he turns around and holds the camera like this so that only me and him are in the picture. And then thing one is just standing there. And at that point I started to feel bad. I started to feel bad. Whether you have a crush on him or not, like he is treating her like a third wheel basically like that's exactly what it was. Like he was treating her like a third wheel, treating her like she wasn't even there, like she was invisible. And now you want to take a picture with just me and you. I started to feel bad. I did because I'm like, that's fucked up, but we still smiled and took the picture. So after that, after the fireworks and everything like that, everyone's starting to disperse. But we decided to leave because that's the only reason why Jay wanted to come there anyway, was to see the fireworks show. So we get back in the car and now we're leaving. Now, mind you, the whole ride up there, thing one was in the back, rapping along to songs, having herself a good old time. But now that we're on the way back, like on the way back into town, she's not saying nothing. Like baby girl is silent as a church mouse back there, right? Back in the back seat. I'm paying it no mind, right? So now I notice it, like I peep it, but I'm not paying it no mind. So now, Jay is still playing music on the aux cord. You know, we're rapping, laughing. Same thing we was doing on the way up there versus rolling up. Like, obviously, I wasn't rolling up there. I wasn't rolling up on the way back because I had plans to roll up when I got home. You feel me? So as we get closer into town, Thing One leans up in her seat, right? Because she's in the back driver's seat, right? So she leans up in the seat and she pokes her head kind of like through the middle, and she looks at Jay and she was like, "So are we going back to your house?" He turns around, glances at her, and says, "Oh nah, I'm about to drop you off." And then turns back and looks at the road. And when I say Thing One slumped back in her seat and crossed her arms and started pouting like a child, in my mind, I'm like, okay, the jig is up. No, for real. I'm like, I'm like, all right, something is going on. Something is going on. Something has gone on, right? Because, for one, why was she so comfortable to ask Jay to go back to his place? And then and then visibly got an attitude because he said no, that he was about to take her home. She'd been acting weird this entire day. And she had hung around me and Jay multiple times before this. And she had never acted like this. Ever. In my mind, I'm like, all right, the jig is up. What is going on? Like, something's going on. Now, whether it's still this crush that she has, I don't know, but clearly something has happened, right? So we get her to her dorm. Jay pulls in the parking spot, right? So she's like, so Thing One sits up in her seat and she was like, "Hey Jay, did you give me my card back from earlier? Because I can't find it." So Jay was like, I think I gave it back to you. And then he takes out his wallet and he starts looking through his wallet. He starts patting, his pants. "Yeah, I must have gave it back to you because I don't have it." And then he puts his wallet back in his pocket. Now, Thing One is in the back seat and she's rummaging around in her purse, looking on the floor for her card. Jay is just sitting there scrolling through his phone. And I'm sitting there too because I'm trying to figure out what in the F is going on. Like, what is this? So I'm trying to figure this out in my mind. And I guess she finds it because she ends up opening the door. So she opens his car door and he was like, "Did you find it?" And she was like, "Yep." He's like, "Okay, well, do you want me to walk you to your door?" She said, "Nope." And then got out and slammed the door and walked off. And then Jay looks at me and he was like, "What is up with her? Like, she been acting weird all day." And I said, "I don't know. That's your friend." And then I went back to looking out the window because now something is up and I'm trying to like, what is it? I'm trying to solve the case. I have now become a detective and now I'm trying to solve this case. I kid you not. So he puts the car in reverse and he backs out the parking place, right? Parking place. He backs out. So now he's driving and I zone out. Like, I kid you not. I literally zone out because in my mind, I'm a huge overthinker. So I'm going over every single event that has taken place that day. Every single moment where she has acted weird towards me, right? I'm trying to put pieces of the puzzle together. I'm trying to put it together and I'm trying to figure out what is going on. Like, why do you have some sort of secret animosity towards me? Because I didn't do nothing to you. The last time I saw you, I was helping you from getting beat up. So what is all this static, right? So now I'm trying to piece it together. I'm like, what is going on? Does she just have a crush on him? Did they kiss? Did they sleep together? Like, what had happened? And I say that because up until this point, like, let's just say me and Jay have been broken up for like a couple months, right? If he did move on, like I wouldn't have had a problem with that. Like, I wouldn't have felt no type of way because I for sure had moved on. And it was pretty obvious that we were not gonna get back together. Like, that was obvious. So what's the issue here? Anyway, I come back to reality once I notice that the car has stopped moving. So once I realize the car stopped moving, I look around and I realize we're at his place. And I said, "Oh, we're coming back here?" He was like, "Yeah, what, did you not want to come here?" And I'm like, I mean, we can, I guess so. So he was like, all right then. And he, like, turns the car off, takes the keys out the ignition, and then we get out. And I'm not even gonna hold you. Not even gonna hold you. Like, in my mind, I knew something had happened because she was acting way too weird for it to just be a crush. But until I got to the bottom of exactly what happened, I knew. I was like, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that he wants to, sleep together tonight. But we not finna do none of that. Because anybody that knows me knows, like, relationship or not, exes or not, once you touch somebody else, that's it. Like, you'll never touch me again. And that's on period. So until I got to the bottom of exactly what was going on or what had gone on, then yeah, we not finna do nothing at all. So we get into his room. He puts a movie on. We roll up. We smoke. We lay in the bed and we go to sleep. Next morning, he wakes up. Well, we both wake up. I think I woke up before he did. I don't know. Either way, we wake up and he takes me home. So yeah, he takes me home. And then I want to say maybe 2 days go by. 2 days go by, and then, like, we're texting each other because after that whole thing that happened at 4th of July, now we're back to, like, texting each other every day, like, all the time, 24/7. And 2 days later, I ended up telling him that, like, the feelings that I had for him that I thought that I had pushed to the back of my mind, they had resurfaced on 4th of July. And he said the same thing, happened to him. Like, he felt the exact same way and he wanted to get back together. However, on my end, before we got back together, I need to know what happened, right? So I asked him, I'm like, well, did anything happen between you and Thing One? Or does she just like you or something? Because how the whole, day went on 4th of July was very weird to me. So he texted me back and he was like, nah, nothing happened with them, that she just likes him, but he only sees her as a friend. So I was like, okay, yeah, because I did kind of get the vibe, that she likes you. Anyway, after that, we had agreed to get back together. So a week or so goes by, and I make him lunch. So I cook him lunch. I pack it in a nice little bag with a container. I put a nice little love note in the container. We get to work, and because we still worked together at this point, so we get to work. I write his name on a sticky note. I put the sticky note on the bag, put the bag in the refrigerator, and then I sent him a picture to let him know that I had made him lunch, right? So when he goes on his lunch break, he obviously eats it. He takes a picture of it and he posts it on Snapchat, and he captions it, when she brings you lunch. So some time goes by and he texts me, right? He texts me because obviously we're at work and he just can't come up to me. But he texts me, he tells me that he posted it on Snap and what the caption said. And he said that Thing One has saw it. Thing One has saw it. She DM'd him and she said, y'all are gonna have to wait until next week. Like, yeah. So this video is super duper long. So I'm going to stop it here. Stay tuned for part 4 that's going to drop next week. And yeah, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And bye.